claustrophobic here. You see a little rain thing.
I don't know that I've ever seen this before. So, and they'll announce, which teams are which.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, well, I'll try to find a number that like is only on one side. They literally, every single number is the exact same. Like I think they just took all the teams and said ahead of time, we're gonna print all the exact same numbers. So like it's 1 through 12, no 13, and then 14, 15, 16, 17, 30.
Wow.
So I can't even tell like, oh, this team is a 14, that one doesn't. That's the obviously East or whatever.
That is weird. Yeah, that is the first time I've ever seen that.
It's a great day for hockey here in Edina, Minnesota. My name is Eric Zamora. I'll be providing the play-by-play of this morning's championship game of the 2012 Girls Division of the 2022 Stars of Tomorrow tournament. We will start with the South squad. They come in with a record of 2-1-0. They will be in the red jerseys with black numerals outlined in white. They will be skating from left to right on your screen. And they will go with a starting lineup of Chloe Kelsey in between the pipes, Piper Altstadt and Tessa Carlson on defense. The top line will be wings Michaela Martin and Annie Moose, centered by Palmer Prosser. The East squad in the gray jerseys with blue numerals outlined in red, and they will control the opening faceoff. Bringing it in is an upended is Amelia Donahue, the center out of Stillwater. Her wings are Anna Schmidt and Cece Skrypek. Defensively, they'll start out with Haley Rosenthal and Skyla Johnson out of Lino Lakes, and Fifi Purpura out of Stillwater, Minnesota, is their netminder. They will have a face-off in the offensive zone. Zoe Nurer will take it is to the stick side of Kelsey, the netminder. And at the point, Johnson, a left-handed shot, throws that in deep. This will be gathered by Team South. We'll, when we have an opportunity, talk to you about how these teams got to this point. East does come in with an unblemished record at 3-0. They'll slide it over for Moosebrugger out of Montemita. She'll play that deep. And tangled up there is Tessa Carlson. South does get a clearance. Up to the boards, no further. There's a centering pass and a changing defenseman. Comes off the bench, immediately gets into play. There's a shot that's tipped on and kicked out with a right pad save by Kelsey. Again, Kelsey tested. And a third time, this one it's banked in. Early in the contest, a power play comes to fruition for the East squad. And East jumps out to an early 1-0 lead. We play a initially they had it as 21, but we've gone down to 18-minute period. So time of the goal, 1 minute and 9 seconds into action. Now at the other end, East will defend, get down out of their own slot, and look to play it up the ice. Handed off by Stevens. A nice save by the netminder. So Margie Regan picks up the power play goal. It's her first of the tournament, her third point, assisted by Adriana Stevens. She has a couple of points, both helpers, and East draws first blood and leads 1-0. They were, as I mentioned, 3-0 through pool play, defeating West by a score of 4-1. The South squad 7-1 and defeated North 4-2. They'll have to wait and not patient enough as it was flickered ahead by Maya Burke, but they had not yet exited the zone, so we will have an offside call. And East does a nice job of defending their blue line. As soon as it gets to the paint, it's quickly sent out. Pressured is South's Harper Kuznia out of Edina, playing in her home city this morning. Swung around, Zoe Menden, and the legs taken out of Evelyn Dunlap. So fortunate that the South squad able to make sure there wasn't too much activity, because for a moment it was really more of a 4-on-4 than a 5-on-5 with some time and space. Nice job of picking the pocket of her opposition was Amelia Donahue. Now gathering it, Anna Schmidt out of Lake Elmo. She's got a goal in the tournament thus far as we play deep. Kuznia finds some open real estate over to the left side and a tangle up. The South squad thought perhaps there was going to be a call there. Ben Allstott, the coach, the officials say no incidental contact and not enough of an advantage given. And certainly an argument could probably be made either way. East's Rosenthal hits Moosbrugger. And tripped up by the outskirts of the circle. A wraparound attempt and a right pad save. Getting over just in the nick of time was the netminder. Thrown towards the net, backhanded, and it's in! Initiating the shot was Zoe Neurer. I believe this is going to be her goal. We'll find out here in a matter of moments. 3:36. Time of the tally. And East has flexed their muscle once again. They lead by a score of 2-0. Poked ahead by Neurer out of Lindstrom. She'll have a point on it regardless. That'll be her 6th of the weekend. It is indeed Neurer's goal. Primary assist handed to Bundy, and Regan with the secondary assist. And East is off to a fantastic start because to this point they've got a 2-0 lead, and we've yet to mention their netminder. There it is, Purpura with a save that steers it aside. Purpura is a full right, which means opposite to most netminders you'll see. She has her blocker and stick in the left hand, glove on the right, and she'll use that stick to aid a puck that was already off the mark, but make sure it stays in that corner. 13:26 left to go in the first period. We played just 2 periods as opposed to most hockey you see with 3, but that's simply a matter of the age level. And because of that, we have a little bit longer periods than had we seen the teams play 3. The other advantage, it speeds up the games, and this way, no need for resurfacing. Sometimes you'll see at this age level or younger age levels, they'll play 3 periods but maybe resurface once. Here, the only resurfacing needed will be in between games, and we will crown a champion of the 2012 girls division here at the West Rink in Braemar. The contest before saw the championship determined in the 2013 division, and there it was West victorious over South by a score of 6-1. Tangled up there was Francis Ware out of Minnetonka. And again, South thought they might have had a penalty called there against East. Between the 2 no calls, I think the better argument would have been for the first one. There it simply looked like she stepped on the stick of her opposition. There's a nice pull in tight and finishing it off. The South squad did a good job of really keeping the shooter from being able to get a good look, and initially it looked like they were going to withstand the pressure. This is going to be Elena Nolander's goal. It's her 2nd of the tournament. Time of the goal, 5 minutes and 42 seconds, and it ended up being a bad break for South because the whole time Kelsey was expecting a shot that didn't come until later. So, in other words, Kelsey was waiting for a shot and probably sold out for where she thought the shot was initially coming from. So it's a bad break as South does a good job of stymieing Nolander, but credit Nolander for staying with the play. She didn't get flustered. She didn't say, okay, well, that first look didn't come to fruition. I guess we'll try again another time. But it was plan B and then eventually plan C that worked out as she's able to pot the goal. The assists go to Adriana Stevens, and it's already her 2nd of the game. And Charlie Samper out of Matamidi And we've got ourselves an early 3-0 lead for the East squad. They have it stripped away at the red line. South bringing it into the offensive zone, but immediately met with resistance. There's an outlet pass thrown towards the net, and then a good effort by the sprawling South player who had her legs taken out from underneath her, still able to give a go at it, just unable to connect. And this one will be played deep by East. Not a bad idea. If you don't have anything else, just get it deep and allow your teammates an opportunity to make the change. 10:45 to go in the first. 3-0, East on top. South looking to hold the zone. They look to poke that away and get it out. It's held in by Regan. Regan, nice job patiently waiting as her opposition skates across the bow. But another player steps up, and so we're looking for an exit. South gets just that. Getting that ahead was Annie Moose. Moose wearing the highest numeral among the skaters for South, the only number greater than hers. Chloe Kelsey, the goaltender out of Prior Lake. She looks over her right shoulder and sees that is played deep and awaits hugging that far side post. There's a nice poke and great job there staying with it, Emily Edwards. Edwards had an opportunity there. It looked like perhaps she was going to cough that puck up and it would have been an odd man rush and a clean break the other way, but does a good job of keeping that one alive. Sent up the line, not out. South now with possession, and Michaela Martin comes across. Martin with a couple of points in the tournament, one each of the goals and assists. From the outside of that left circle, and that takes a carom and a bounce. Sent up, and Martin throws that towards the net. Making the stride around the crease, held onto, and I think that's a smart decision there. Piper Altstadt had that on her tape. Could have thought about trying to throw it towards the net, but there was a lot of traffic there. Instead, she says, I know if I can get that down low, and it works out for them. Not only does Altstadt's play, as she rims it around the boards, allow an opportunity for South from the other side to get a better look at a shot on net, but it draws a penalty. Early in the contest, East out shooting South by a 7-3 margin. However, it is a power play opportunity that starts with 8:39 left to go in the first period. East, shorthanded, will control the restart and skating right through the star that was formed by South. The 5 players, all about equidistant from one another. Now South will look to break out. And flipping that ahead off the glass was Frances Ware out of Minnetonka. Slamming on the brakes was Skyla Johnson. Now coming up the left wing boards, and Rosenthal out of Roseville. Patient. She goes against the grain but finds a clean passing lane and makes the exit. And for just a moment, East had too many on the ice. Nice job there to make sure that they got those players off in a timely fashion. Obviously, at this age level, one of the difficulties when you make changes is that the players need the doors and can't just hop over the boards. With a second swipe, East. And waiting at the line, nice job there by Anna Schmidt out of Lake Elmo. Watches as it's dumped in by Zoe Nurer. She's got the second goal of this early morning contest. Missing on the bank, and now an opportunity for South. Throwing a shot towards the net, but it misses around the backside. 24 seconds left on the man advantage. Held onto, and the point held by Ella Schuler out of Mini Trista. Played up the boards, but unfortunately into the skate of the official. that helped it stay in, although I think even without him occupying that space, it wouldn't have gotten out of the zone. 3 seconds, 2-1, fresh out of the box is Bristol Langer out of Forest Lake, and we will once again skate 5-on-5. Here's Regan. Regan is pushed wide by Mackenzie Levy. Centering pass, but South sniffs it out. Nice breakout pass, and a great job once again by Edwards to make sure that South didn't have a breakaway. Into the offensive zone goes Schuler. Schuler is steered wide by Edwards. East will pounce on a loose puck, bring it up the line. Pestered is Rosenthal, but she'll back up, and now East will talk it out. Good communication there by both Skrypek and Samper. Not 100% sure, but I would imagine Charlie Samper related to Brandon Samper, as they both hail from Matamidi. Also, a hockey player named Charlie Samper with an E at the end, but that Charlie hailing from St. Paul, again, not quite sure if there's a relation or not. Brought into the offensive zone and firing a shot. A stick save made by the netminder, as ripping that one was Evelyn Dunlap. She's got a couple of goals out of Chanhassen. Backhand centering pass as Martin trying to create something here with just over 5 minutes to go in the frame. Coming in all alone is Nur, but that's not going to stop her from getting a chest-high shot. Stopped by Kelsey. That afforded her team the opportunity to make some changes. She also generated some offense, and doing it solo. Held in at the line. Held in once again. East, relentless in the pressure. Snapping a shot through a ton of traffic. Left pad save. The netminder thought about coming out to try to cover it, but she had friendly faces there to help get a clearance. It's held in the zone. Stripped away by Dunlap. And South will finally get the exit they were looking for. Regan will grab it, turns up ice, and is immediately hounded. As missing on the puck was Martin. She made sure. There's a shot and a goal. Regan snaps one upstairs, short side. Time of the goal, 13:55. This should be an unassisted tally by Regan. Her second of the tournament, second of the game. And East on top by a score of 4-0. Was just finishing the thought that Michaela Martin was just doing an equipment check, making sure that Regan had her shin pads on, and Regan fought through that and snipes one upstairs. Backhanding it out is Edwards. Actually, they will hand out an assist. Lainey Lee picks up her 5th apple of the weekend. Behind the defense, firing a shot, and it just missed on the far side. Ware ripped one that found the outside of the iron. Here's a centering pass, and didn't realize there was somebody there, as Edwards immediately is introduced to Brooke Lockismo out of Eden Prairie. Lockismo nearly just deflected that one in, then had another look at it, but East is able to withstand that bid, and they'll get it deep, or at least into the offensive zone. 3:07 left to play in the first. Thrown towards the net. Lockismo gives chase. It's sticked away by the netminder, Purpura. And I am certainly no expert on the rules of the tournament, but I believe both teams, with having a second netminder, are required in the championship game to play each a half, barring any reason that a netminder can't go, a la some sort of injury. So we should see Anna Sleeman in between the pipes for East in the second half, and for South, it'll be Ellie Knutson out of Red Lake Falls. Poked away and brought out to center ice. South making a change, but able to get fresh personnel out there. That shot by Stevens doesn't find the target as it was blocked into the corner. Poked ahead and now fresh off of the bench was Dunlap playing it ahead. She'll play it deep, and that will turn around Skyla Johnson. Johnson with some time. Held in by Schuler. And going up high, it was a bouncing shot and a good idea. Ton of traffic there. Instead of trying to fire through all of that, used a 7-iron and chipped it up and over everybody. That nearly took a fortuitous roll for South. 92 seconds left to go in the first period. 4-0. East on top, out shooting South 10-5. Here's a 2-on-1 developing. They'll feed it over, but just behind Anna Schmidt. Schmidt turns, backhands one to the top of the circle. South looking for a clearance. That first one, they kind of swiped, and then nice job by Zoe Menden to get up in time. That one went through her 5-hole, but it was a good thing as she didn't want to accidentally keep that in her defensive zone. Played back, and South will exit around the back of their own net. They'll bang one ahead, held in at the point, and Regan, who's had a fantastic start to this one, the blue liner, already has a couple of goals and an assist. Banked ahead for the aforementioned Regan. Regan slows it down and offers it towards the net. Spinning and firing, it's in. This is going to be Nurer's goal with 34.5 left on the clock. So we'll call time of the goal. 17 minutes, 26 seconds. And I think Regan has got her 4th point, at least if they're able to go back and track the assist, obviously without the assistance of video, at least immediately. We can go back and take a look at this on YouTube, of course. But it is indeed. Oh, there were 2 players that got a touch before Nurer after it was offered up by Regan. So it will end up being Nurer from Lee and Moosebrugger. So Regan denied the assist, but helps her team out with another goal and another +1. 5-0 after 1 period is in the books. We'll take a quick step away from the mic, and we'll be back with your second period. You're watching the championship game of the 2012 Girls Division of the 2022 Stars of Tomorrow Tournament on Youth Hockey Hub. We'll keep our same sides. So once again, the 2012 South squad in the red jerseys with black numerals outlined in white are skating from left to right. They trail east. In the Team USA-esque jerseys. They're gray with blue numerals outlined in red. They skate from right to left. So Ellie Knudsen in between the pipes for Team South. I could be mistaken here, but it looks like Fifi Purpura is still in between the cage for Team East. Haven't seen her turn around, but that looks like the same player and looks like numeral 1 on the sides. Fed ahead to Martin, stripped away. And with it, bringing it in was Stevens, didn't keep the zone long. This will be thrown down, and Purpura will elect to cover up, and that's a good idea simply because when you've got a situation like that, you might say, yeah, you can probably play that to your defenseman, but why not with a 5-goal lead, just play it safe. By the way, we do have a running clock right now because of the 5-goal differential, and I believe that 5 is the magic number. So should one go in there, South would be able to stop the clock. Never a bad idea when you've got the lead to keep that ticking as Anna Schmidt gets it deep into the offensive zone. And that is music to the ears of any coach, as they always stress the idea of getting pucks deep and making the opposition go the full length of the ice to try to beat you. We are here at the West Rink of Braemar Arena, the home of the Edina Hornets, a squad that did, on the boys' side, make the 2022 high school state tournament. A squad that was knocked off in the quarterfinals by Maple Grove, the eventual runner-up, but I believe Edina won the consolation bracket, if I'm not mistaken. There's a shot on and fought off by Knutson, who hails from Red Lake Falls. The South squad gets it ahead. They've got a break, and then coming back out of nowhere like a bull in a china shop, but it is tipped in from the backside, and the goal will breathe life into South. I believe this is going to be Pink. No, excuse me. That is Tessa Carlson out of Edina, Minnesota. Comes up with the tally on the rebound, but a great job by Haley Rosenthal. Coming out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it looked like they wouldn't even maybe get a shot off, but they do indeed pick up the goal. There was 15:21 left on the clock. So we'll call that 2:39 time of the ball. It is Carlson's first point of the weekend from Frances Ware. Ware with her third point. That's her first assist of the 2022 Stars of Tomorrow tournament. There's a centering pass in the slot and defended well, broken up, and they will throw it to the near side boards. Edwards feeds it ahead. Cancer on one man. Firing and scoring is Ava Moosebrugger out of Matamidi. And we go right back to a 5-goal differential. 3:37 time of the goal. It is Moosebrugger's 4th of the weekend, and she's got a 2-point morning. She now has 6 points on the tournament, and here's something that surprises me. I had to double check and make sure I wasn't reading this wrong. Emily Edwards, with just her first point in action so far, she's been active early on. I'm surprised she hasn't had a couple at least. Steered to the side nicely by Langer was Ella Schuler. They'll swing it around the boards. It will be gathered there by Neurer. Dumps it out to center ice. And resetting the table, Harper Kuznia. Out of Edina. Kuznia, again, this time it'll take a deflection off an East player. And this will be picked off. Stepping up, keeping it on her forehand, snapping the shot. It bounces off of Edwards. Then Edwards immediately throws it to the boards. And not a bad play. If you're not quite sure where your opposition is, and you're in the center of the ice, first things first, either get it to the corner or get it to the side and make it easier on your netminder in case somebody can quickly locate that and snap a reaction shot. Rosenthal takes a spill. Kuznia now ties her up. Bodies are beautifully. A little bit of contact there, but certainly not enough to warrant the whistle. Hounded is Stevens. Now Johnson throws her weight into her opposition. Would not call this action chippy, but it's certainly more physical than we saw earlier in the affair. Cutting across nicely is Stevens. Then she's stripped of it. Going the other way. South. Looking to bring it ahead, and bringing it in is Moose. Good patience shown by South to make sure they stayed on side. 12-13 left to go in the second period. Again, we played just 2 periods. 6-1 East on top of South. It's thrown up, held at the point, and it's blocked. Swallowing up that was Charlie Sampere. From around the boards, will end up on red 14. Does the roulette ball land on as Elstad is able to keep that in. This time, she gets a touch on it, but not able to, and a good decision there. She goes D to D. East making a perfectly timed exchange as they had players coming off the bench, and they were immediately into the action. Positioned perfectly to apply that pressure. South is able to bring into the offensive zone. Coming up with that was Brinley Bundy. She'll get tied up along the boards. Backhanded by Donahue. And now tracking it down Schmidt. Schmidt throws it to the point. Again it's Sampere. Sampere throws one towards the net. Stick save made by the netminder who had the left pad down in case the twig didn't come through. Kicked at nicely by Martin. Michaela Martin thought about giving chase, then decided I'm going to head out front just in case this is turned over and we need somebody out front for a deflection, a redirection, or just a shot in general. Stepping up, a South player took a spill, but I think that's a good no call. It looked like she initiated the contact into the player that she got tripped over. Here's Skrypek. Skrypek gets to the red line and then is muscled out by Piper Altstadt. Clean across the line thanks to good footwork by Michaela Martin. Rushing back, South unable to keep that in the zone. Advanced by Carlson. She's the goal scorer for South. A rugby scrum ensues, and it is brought into the zone. Schmidt will give chase as it was played ahead by Donahue. They'll peel it off the back boards. Here's Donahue. Donahue brings it to her forehand and loses possession. It's Carlson looking to go the other way. They'll get it out of the zone. South looking for more than just an exit as they trail by 5. Brought back in by Edwards. Edwards floats a shot, and the netminder saves that just below her neck guard. A chest protector save, but she watches as it stays in the zone. Altstadt gets it up the line. Laurel Hughes trying desperately to get a clearance. Now Hughes with it. It kicks off her skate. Stays in for a moment, and they'll bank it down the length of the ice. Will it have enough for icing? It does indeed, with 9:10 on the clock as the whistle was blown. But again, with a 5-goal differential, that clock will continue rolling, and that is to the advantage of the East squad. They'll have an offensive zone restart. It will come to the glove side of the South netminder Knudsen. Tipped up. And they have a good look in tight. Coming up next here from Braemar West, we will see the 2012 Boys Championship. That'll be South versus West. Right here on Youth Hockey Hub. Banked up, not out. Nice job there by Skyla Johnson to keep the point. That was a difficult play. This will be covered up by the glove of the netminder. No, I spoke too soon. As it was loose, and Nur doesn't need an invitation. She invites herself to the party and strips that away from the netminder. South will come up with a stop, and they'll look to quickly turn up the other way. They've got numbers. It's a 4-on-2, now a 4-on-3 developing. Nice job there. Hustling back is Moosebrugger, and it's in! I believe this is going to be the goal. Well, hold that thought. Initially, I thought it was Frances Ware. Now I'm convinced it's Laurel Hughes. Time of the goal is 10 minutes, 12 seconds. And most importantly for South, it stops the clock. Differential is now just 4. So it does afford them a little bit more opportunity as now whistles. And coming back in, firing a shot and just missing was East's Bundy. Out front, a puck that didn't get to her was Stevens. South tries to get a clearance. Now they will get it up and bring it into the offensive zone. Slamming on the brakes, waiting, and throwing one towards the net was Schuler. That'll be stripped away, and now coming up the right wing side, but dispossessed of it was Nolander, who's got a goal already in this one. 6-2, South trailing, and we're going to have a tripping call coming up, and it will stop play with 6:55 left. So South has a couple of goals in the period. They've done the most important thing, which is take away the running clock. They have a power play opportunity, and with Bristol Langer out of Forest Lake in the box for a trip, they've got an opportunity to try to cut this game within 3. 6:55 left to go in regulation. Backhanded by Moose out of Deep Haven to the point. First shot doesn't get through. Second one is fought off, and a great play there by Kuznia. She had a player deep. It was Annie Moose. Unfortunately, that bouncing puck rolls up and over her stick. This will be gathered from the left circle. Firing a shot that is steered below the goal line. Kuznia steps up. The right defenseman, a left-handed shot. Interesting to see that the pairings for the South seem to be 2 left-handed shot defensemen and 2 right-handed shot defensemen. Typically, you'd see they'd try to split them up on pairings. There's a shorthanded bid that pinballs away, but obviously some defensemen, especially at younger ages, like actually playing that off-hand position. I'm not much of a defenseman, but if I am put out there, I definitely want to be on the right side, which is the side I shoot. Giving a swipe at it. Now South with it into the offensive zone and steered aside. Some 4-on-4 numeral battling there, and coming away with it was Rosenthal as Martin was upended. We've still got a power play for another 24 seconds. Firing the shot and getting the pads down in time was Purpura. There's a centering pass, but nobody home. East will skate onto it, look for the exit. They'll throw it up, and it just gets through the wickets of Lockersmo. That'll go the length of the ice. And a tough angle shot taken by Donahue. That kicks off the side of the cage. Out of the box is Langer, and we once again skate 5-on-5. That's the second time that East has killed off a penalty. So special teams has been huge for them as they're 1 for 1 on the man advantage and 2 for 2 on the PK. There's a shot, and it's sticked aside by Altstadt. Sometimes netminders do not care for at all their teammates out front touching a shot that's going towards the cage, but Altstadt makes sure that that one was well off target and did her job beautifully. Here's a centering pass in the slot. Backhanded shot, didn't miss by much. That was a no-look bid, as just feeling out where that cage should be and not missing by much. It'll take a second effort, but Piper Altstadt gets that just up and out. Now into the offensive zone goes Ware. Ware throws one towards the cage. That is sticked away, and Ware had her stick tangled up there, but is able to get that away. Now an opportunity developing for East's Moosebrugger, as she's in with Lee. Moosebrugger taps that deep. Maya Burke gets involved, stripped away by Lee. And Burke will swing it around the bend out of Chaska, Minnesota. Centering pass. Moosebrugger, and a toe save made by the netminder. The backhand second effort throws it towards the cage, finally covered up by the goaltender, and that'll stop the clock with 13:19 left. East flexing their muscle on the shots on goal department. They are out shooting their opposition South by a 22-10 margin. Backhanded off the face-off by Moosebrugger. And a shot blocked and sent out of the zone with authority by Zoe Menden. She'll apply pressure. That'll force a puck to be played in not necessarily the way they want it to, but it's going to develop for East. A shot and a goal. What a snipe by Ava Moosebrugger. 14:59, time of the goal. It is Moosebrugger's second of the game, second of the period. And she's got 5 goals and 7 points in the 4 games of the Stars of Tomorrow tournament. The lone assist goes to Zoe Neurer. So now, if you're looking for a player of the game, both Margie Regan and Ava Moosebrugger with the same stat lines, 2 goals and an assist. For what it's worth, Moosebrugger doing that as a center and Regan doing so as a defenseman. Played out of the zone by Kuznia. This one's going to go the length of the ice. No. The near side official and the back official calling ice, but the lead official waving it off. 2:05 to go. 7-2 the score differential. Banging bodies down low. Breaking up the play was Caitlin Pink. There's a centering pass out front, and it gets to Adriana Stevens, and Stevens deposits it into the back of the net. .16:08 time of the goal for Stevens. And that's her first of the tournament, and she's got a 3-point game as well, with her stat line reading 1 and 2 for 3. Elena Nolander picks up the assist from Lakeville. She's got 2 points, 1 of each variety. And good outlet breakout, although didn't quite get the job done because of a forechecking Michaela Martin. We're down to the final minute of action. Stepping up from the left circle, trying to snap a shot, was Palmer Prosser. I believe she's the daughter I heard of Nate Prosser, the Elk River, Minnesota native. Played his college hockey in Colorado Springs for the CC Tigers. longtime NHLer, currently with the Philadelphia Flyers. Before that, with the Minnesota Wild as a former Des Moines resident. Had an opportunity to see him with the Iowa Wild a few times. 23 seconds left to go in the frame, and that's sent up the boards. Looking to throw it towards the net was Donahue. This will carry him around for Moose. Moose looks for a breakout pass with 10 seconds to go. South just trying to get out of the zone and keep it an 8-2 score. This will be picked up by Johnson. She'll make a pass over from right to left. And there is your final. 8-2, East is victorious. And they pick up the 2012 Girls Stars of Tomorrow Championship, as we'll do a quick scoring summary for East. First goal was Regan from Stevens. Then it was Nuhr from Bundy and Regan. Giving them a 3-0 lead was Nolander from Stevens and Sampear. Then Regan scoring her second from Lee. The first half scoring was wrapped up by Nuhr from Lee and Moosbrugger, and that gave East a 5-0 lead that in the end was too much to overcome. They also picked up goals in the second half from Moosbrugger, from Edwards, then Moosbrugger again, this time from Nuhr, and Stevens from Nolander. For the South squad, they had a couple of goals, and it was Carlson scoring from Ware, and the second goal was scored by Laurel Hughes. 8-2, the final. East victorious. We thank you for joining us again. My name is Eric Zamora, doing the play-by-play all morning long here on the West Rink at Braemar Arena in beautiful Edina, Minnesota. Up next, the 2012 Division Boys Championship. But your 2022 Stars of Tomorrow champion in the 2012 Girls Division is East, victorious over South by a score of 8-2. Mike York, our camera operator, engineer, and producer, and I both thank you for tuning into this production put on by Youth Hockey Hub. One final time in the 2012 Girls Division, East 8, South 2. You've been watching the 2022 Stars of Tomorrow tournament presented by Youth Hockey Hub.